All right, thank you. Good morning. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I acknowledge that we're in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Innu, Cree, and Dakota peoples, and the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation and Treaty 3 territory. My name is Neil Harden. I'm chairing today's panel. With me in the room is Mike Colatriglio, and via Zoom is Kerry Linklater. The assessor today is Arif Dast Mohammed, and the administrative personnel is Sally Caulfield. We will be hearing applications for revision of the assessment role in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the board. The board is appointed annually by council and is independent of it in the city administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order to be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You'll receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. We are only hearing item 1 on our docket today. Ms. Caulfield, please affirm the assessor's and applicant's testimony.
Mr. Assessor, please state your full name.
Arif Dast Mohammed.
Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Mr. Applicant, please state your full name.
Grayson Sharples.
Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the only item on today's agenda is 2245 Brookside Boulevard. Mr. Dast Mohammed, before you begin, I note that you included some information on past assessments and whether they were appealed or not on page 4 of your presentation. That is not relevant evidence to the board, and please do not go over that evidence. It's not admissible.
I won't. Thank you.
Okay, so you can proceed with your presentation then.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Board revision file number 23-349. Roll number is 14098390100. Address is 2445 Brookside Boulevard. Roll year is 2024. Reference date is April 1st, 2021. Assessed value is $2,229,000, and that's based only on land value. So the parcel use is industrial miscellaneous. Zoning is M3 manufacturing heavy. The land area is 821,778 square feet, which is approximately 18.87 acres. Now, if you turn to my page 8, at the top of the page, you'll see a map of the city. So the subject is located in the northwest quadrant of the city in North Inkster Industrial Park. At the bottom is the subject parcel boundaries. It's located in the southeast corner of Brookside Boulevard and Jefferson Avenue. On page 9 at the top is an aerial view of the subject. And then at the bottom, there's some street views, similarly on the following page and page 11 also. I put in the definition of manufacturing, M3, manufacturing heavy there. So basically, manufacturing heavy M3 provides for light to heavy industrial development and includes manufacturing, storage, minor freight terminals, waste and salvage, resource extraction, processing, and transportation. It's used for heavy truck traffic and supplies or for shipment basically. On page 12, I put in a search from the Contaminated Sites Registry. Mr. Sharples in our discussion had brought up indicating that this property might be located in the Contaminated Sites Registry. So at the bottom there, I did a search. You can see the blue is the search for contaminated sites. The address I put in was 2245 Brookside, and there was no matching records found. I also did that on the following page for impacted sites and not designated sites. So 2245 Brookside Boulevard did not show up on the registry. I also reached out to the manager for environmental compliance and enforcements for Manitoba Environment and Climate, Mr. Warren Rospad. And I asked him some questions to see if the site was on the impacted registry. He indicated that there was some remediation done back in the early 2000s, but as of now, there is no remediation required. On page 14, right at the top, that's his last email to me, and he indicates at this time the department does not require any further remediation. If the land was to change, land use was to change, for example, industrial to residential, then there would be some remediation. But for the current use, there is no remediation required. So going back to my page 3, there's our land comparables. So all comparables are industrial vacant land sales at the time of the sale. Due to the large land area of the subject in excess of 18 acres, the comparable search was expanded outside of the immediate subject market region to include other areas. Land area for the comparables ranges from 15 acres to 38 acres. Sales price for the comparables ranges from $3.80 per square foot to $9.07 per square foot. Note that comp number 2 furthest from the reference date is the lowest price per square foot at $3.80. So that was sold February 5th, 2016. Comp number 1 is located in the same market region as the subject. It has the highest sales price per area at $9.07 per square foot. Average selling price of all the comparables is calculated to be $5.51 per square foot, whereas we're utilizing an assessed square foot price per square foot at $2.71. If you turn to page number 16, there is the map of the subject in relation to the comparables. And then I just have some overhead shots of the comparable properties, starting at the bottom of page 16 and going to page 18. So on page 4 is our land area only assessment. So you'll note that we're using $2.71 per square foot, which equals out to a land value of $2,229,000. I also put the cost approach at the bottom. You'll note that we're not including any of the buildings. If we had included the buildings, the cost approach was indicating that the value should be assessed at $2,332,000. But like I said, we're just utilizing land value for the assessment. Therefore, I think we have been fair and equitable in assessing our property, our subject property, and I respectfully ask that the board confirm the land value of $2,229,000. And I'm open to questions. Thank you.
Okay, questions, is Mr. Sharples, is it?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Everyone could just go to the page 3. This is where we have the land comparables. So would you agree that typically we would expect land parcels with M3 zoning to transact at lower rates than parcels with M1 and M2 zoning?
No, because if you look at comparables number 2 and 4, those are M3. Yeah, so I think they're in the range, and you'll note that comparable number 3 is M2, which is maybe slightly higher, but I don't think the M3 zoning has any impact on the land value.
Okay, what about land parcels with no servicing, no sewer, no water? Do you think
You'll note my comparable number 4 doesn't have any sewer or water, and there's actually a rail line. There are many parcels in the city that don't have sewer and water. For example, on Cordite, there's a whole street there without those services.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions.
Okay, Mike, any questions?
No questions.
Okay, Carrie, any questions?
I just have one question. Mr. Das Mohammed, you had mentioned that there could be remediation at some point down the road.
Only if the land use was to transfer it, so something other than industrial. So,
I see.
yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. That's all my questions, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, okay. Do you know if there are any plans in the future for residential development in that area? That area is fast growing, but it seems to be the Castlewood Estates is moving south and not west, or Castleberry, I guess it's called. So do you know if there are any long-range plans for that to be included in residential development?
No, that whole area is industrial, so Inkster Industrial North. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Mr. Sharples, then you can begin your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I will just note we have provided a rebuttal document. Would you like me to present that before our evidence package or after?
Do your evidence. Okay, do your rebuttal first.
Mr. Chair, please give me a moment to distribute it.
Okay. Okay, I see it's there now.
Do you have it, Mr. Assessor?
No, I don't.
I've sent it via email.
Yeah, I'm looking on my. Oh, I just got it now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And you have it?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
All right, everyone has it, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so proceed then with your rebuttal first.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the first and second pages, we just kind of have a brief summary of the property. We can kind of just jump to page 3, which is where we actually have the rebuttal information. So we just like to add some commentary to some of the comparable sales that have been provided. So these are specifically comparables 2 and 4. So these are the only other 2 comparables that have the M3 zoning. And so these were city-owned lands. So these were land parcels that were sold by the city of Winnipeg. And so on page 4, we have just a snippet of that. So we'll note that, so this is phase 2 of the St. Boniface Industrial Park. And it is noted here that these lots are all fully serviced. The subject property should be noted is not. And on page 5 here, we just have a map of the development. So the comparable index number 2 was 330 Maisonade Road. This is the 15.9 acre parcel on the corner of Black Diamond Boulevard and, sorry, I keep trying to zoom in to see what that road is, and Maisonade Road. And then comparable 4, 365 Black Diamond Boulevard is the 38 acre parcel. Just to the west, it would be of that with this 5.1 acre parcel sandwiched in between there. And so again, this 5.1 acre parcel and 41.4 acre parcel, it is noted, is serviced property that is available for sale. And so again, we believe that, well, it appears that both of these comparables are fully serviced land and they have been sold by the city of Winnipeg. And then we just have some news articles that we were able to find on the following page. So on page 6, this is from July 2015. So this 330 Maisonade Road is the site of the new Parmalat plant. And so there was a deal in place for there to be a joint venture with a developer that ended up falling through. And it sounds like the deal was kind of rushed in order to keep Parmalat in Winnipeg. So we've just highlighted the note here that kind of says the city said the deal was urgent because there is a time constraint with Parmalat being under a time crunch to start construction. And they have a very tight schedule and are rushing this through in a sense because they need to be in the ground by August of this year. We have another article on the following page from July 28th, 2016. And we just kind of highlighted a snippet from this that says at the bottom there, in July 2015, council rescinded the joint venture agreement and then approved a city deal to sell part of the land to Parmalat Canada for $2.6 million. So again, we believe this sale was rushed. It was sold by the city of Winnipeg, and there may have been incentives in there to keep Parmalat within Winnipeg. And on the following pages, we just have some satellite imaging. So it looks like because this was rushed, the development on the site began before the lot was actually sold. So this comparable was noted, this is comparable to 330 Maisonade Road. It was noted to have sold on February 6th or February 5th, 2016. And so the top image here is satellite image of November 2015, where it looks like they've started to perhaps build the foundation. And again, some further development on the land in March of 2016. So we're not too sure about the specifics of this sale, but it does seem like development had began before the land was actually sold. And then again, it was sold by the city of Winnipeg. So we just ask the board to consider this evidence and the validity of these two sales.
Okay, Mr. Das Mohammed, do you have any questions on this?
Yes, I do. So sorry, you indicated that comparable number 4 was fully serviced. Have you done a search on the city's website where you could go and see what each parcel is zoned as and what it's currently assessed at,
Yeah, I have, and you are right. It has been assessed with the no sewer and no water. It does just appear based on this that this industrial development is serviced. I'm not entirely sure if all the surrounding parcels are serviced, but not that 38 acre one.
So
But yeah.
So on the website, you notice that 38 acre parcel has no sewer or water, is that correct?
It has been assessed with the influence of no sewer, no water.
Okay. Yeah. And sorry, in regards to 330 Maisonot, so you're indicating that this was a rush sale by the city?
It does appear to be that way, yeah.
Okay, and would that indicate why the comparable number 2 is the lowest selling price per square foot at $3.80?
I'm not sure what the specifics of the sales were in the pricing.
Okay, those are all my questions. Thank you.
All right, Carrie, any questions on the rebuttal evidence?
I have no questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Mike?
Just to be clear, I guess, comp 4 has no source or the influences have not been included for any services to that lot. And comp 2, the applicant is suggesting because it was a quick sale that somehow the numbers are skewed in that particular sale, that's all?
Yeah, I guess just the circumstances of the sale seem unique, and we're not sure that it would be a true representation of market value.
Okay, and okay, those are my questions. Sorry, just wanted to make sure I understood exactly. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to ask the question. If it's a rush sale and not indicative of market value, wouldn't that point to the price being artificially low and not artificially high?
It could. Yeah, we're just we're not sure about the specifics of it. It's entirely possible that's the case. We just believe that because the process was rushed. Yeah, we're just not sure.
Okay, thank you very much. So you can begin your main presentation then.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we'll just begin on page 3 again. Another quick recap. So description of the property. So it's an 18.9 acre parcel of unserviced industrial land located in the Kilden and Market region. It does have M3 zoning, as noted earlier, and it has been assessed at $2,229,000. We're requesting that that be reduced to $2,041,200. On page 4, we just have a snippet of the current assessment. And on page 5, just a bit of a breakdown. So we're requesting that a land rate of $108,000 per acre be applied. And that's how we've derived our requested value of just over $2 million. Page 6, we just have the valuation breakdown. I think we've gone over enough of this. We don't need to spend too much time, but it is there in the document for reference. And then on page 7, we have the assessment map. And then at the bottom of the page, we have a satellite map. So this property is owned by Maple Leaf Construction, and it is being used as a gravel pit and manufacturing facility, I believe. And on page 8, here are some aerial photographs of the subject. These continue on to page 9. So on page 10, we have our valuation. So we've pulled a couple sales. It is difficult to find comparable land transactions of this size. But the first one we've identified is 2185 Logan. Now this is an M2 zone parcel, and it is smaller than the subject property at 4.532 acres. It sold in September 2019 for $450,000. It is serviced, but it does have some contamination, and this sold at a price per acre of just under $100,000 per acre. And we don't have evidence in here on this, but this is the Whiteout Group who occupies this space. They do asphalt paving and repair, snow removal, and restoration services. And then we have 50 Nicholas as our second comparable. So this is, we believe, the closest comparable transaction to the subject property. It does have the M3 zoning, fairly similar in size at 13.189 acres. And it also does not have any servicing. It is a bit of an older sale, unfortunately, but we still believe it is the best one. It sold for $1.425 million, which equates to $108,045 per acre. And so this this property is SCMS Incorporated, which is a concrete material services company. And again, the subject is an asphalt plant and storage facility. And so it's from the value of this sale at 50 Nicholas that we've derived our requested value of $108,000 per acre. And on the following pages, we just have some more images of the subject and the comparable at 50 Nicholas, as well as some screenshots from their website. So again, on page 11, this is the subject property, and a snippet at the bottom of the page from the Maple Leaf Construction website. So again, kind of in the bottom right corner of this snippet from the website, their products, they have aggregates, asphalt paving, and excavation and base work, concrete, more paving, product sales, rural construction, that kind of thing. And on page 12, this is 50 Nicholas. This is the SCMS concrete. And again, just from their website, provide customized concrete material solutions. So we believe that these two properties are very similar in terms of uses. They both do share the M3 zoning and are used for concrete and asphalt. We believe these are very similar properties. And so on page 13, in conclusion, we are basing our request based on that sale at 50 Nicholas at $108,000 per acre. And we respectfully request the board to reduce the assessment to $2,041,200. And then just briefly in pages 14 and 15, we have the notice of hearing. And then we have snippets of the assessments and aerial images of the two comparables used on pages 16 and 17. So with that, I conclude my presentation and welcome any questions. Thank you.
Okay, questions, Mr. Das Mohammed?
Yes, thank you very much. Mr. Sharples, would you agree that with the manager of environmental services from Manitoba Environment and Climate, that the subject property is not contaminated at the present time?
I would agree, yes.
Okay. And your comp number 1 is only 25% of the size of the subject property. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And your best comp is from April 2014, which is about 7 years prior to the reference date. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. And would you agree that industrial properties have increased quite a bit in value from say 2014 to 2021?
I'm not really familiar with the Winnipeg industrial market going back to 2014, but it is entirely possible, yeah.
And I just noticed that your comp 50 Nicholas does not seem to match with what the city has on your page 17. They have it at 12.9 acres and you have it at just over 13 acres. I don't know where that comes from. Did you have something other than what the city has?
Our sales are from the Johnson report,
Okay,
so that the area we've used is what was reported in that.
okay. And did the Johnson report have any newer sales when you looked at the reports?
No, these were the best or the closest to that we could identify in terms of size and use that we were able to track down.
Okay, those are all the questions I have. Thank you.
Okay, Mike, any questions?
No, I think I've been answered already. Thank you.
Okay, Carrie?
My questions have been asked and answered. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yep, and same with me. Does either party wish a summation on this, Mr. Das Mohammed?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Sharples?
I'm good as well. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so thank you very much for your presentations. We have heard all the items scheduled and this hearing is now adjourned.